He campaigned alongside New Hampshire Governor Maggie Hassan, who is running for
Facebook,
the
folks.
Senate. In Iraq, forces backed by the U.S.-led coalition airstrikes are battling ISIS once again.
Live HD on the Book of Faces.
Closer to the Islamic State-held city.
Nikki, can you see us?
Town of Bartella, which is a historically Christian town that Iraqi
Oh,
seized last
okay.
week, and they'll be moving in as part of a massive operation that is entering its second week.
Looking
It's
Wall
recorded,
Street, Dow
right?
Jones Industrial Average holding its own, but not by much.
Yeah.
Now it's down by just about 1/10.
Oh, it's on Hulu? Okay, got it.
More on these stories from townhall.com.
So what are we talking about today?
I don't know.
I'm Nick Soboleski.
Real
a
estate,
quote
maybe?
agent With a
All right.
store that saves you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year,
We can talk about politics.
$500,000 policy for under $26 a
I
month.
never.
That's almost
You know-
twice the coverage.
Or
for
religion.
less than half of what the ad pays.
Yeah, go with all the
So
taboo
therefore,
subjects,
have a
right?
shop for
I
your
really
life
never want
insurance.
to talk about
You're
candidates.
probably paying
I want
right.
to talk about politics.
Right.
I talk about issues.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that's what I like to talk about. You know, I've gone through some things in my life where we had to go to New Mexico to get an abortion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, we had
Get full details on
an
the
issue
example
of
policy at
my wife's
SelectQuote.com/commercial.
pregnancy.
Your price
And
can vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other
And
factors.
you couldn't do that in Texas?
we're past the time.
This
Oh,
is
okay.
Business 1110. Now you know which way the market is going. Let's find out how your traffic is
Yeah,
flowing.
trust me, I never-
This is Business
and,
1110.
something like that. I had
59
been,
Southwest
for the most part,
Freeway,
most of my life, been very indifferent about it, just because I don't really discuss topics that I don't think really affects me.
Speeds are
I'm
burning
just
on the
indifferent
Katy
about
Freeway,
it.
just
Right.
up to that legal
No,
limit
until
as
it
of yet.
does.
40 minutes to get from Fry Road into town.
So,
290. You've only got a few
you know,
slowdowns. You're going to be kind of
try-
bunched
when
up
you
on
only
the
got
side
two
of the
political
beltway,
parties,
40
it's-
minutes from
it's
the
kinda
Grand
tough.
Parkway
It
onto
is.
the It's not going to be all that bad. 59
Yeah, a lot of
Freeway,
other countries, they
just
have a
over
lot more
30
than
minutes
that.
in from Townsend. Still running heavy between Quitman and the George R. Brown. Baytown
So I
East
wonder
Freeway,
why.
25 minutes in from the Crosby-Lynchburg area. You've got slowdowns after Cress.
Why we're not showing up
Your
5 yet.
garbage can be more than just garbage. Give it another life. Recycle. Learn more at iwanttoberecycled.org. A public service message brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Morning, Ginger.
It's estimated that 9 out of 10 individual investors fight a losing battle against the big institutions. So what can you do about it? Hi, I'm Mary Beth Motisi, owner of Online Trading Academy here in Houston. Listen to Power Trading Hour to learn
2
how stocks
minutes.
really work and how
2
to act
minutes
like
to
the
showtime.
professionals. Call us at 281-820-8905 to register for our complimentary half-day class. Find out more at HoustonOTA.com.
Well, that's
and
weird.
listen to Power Trading Hour, weekdays at 2 p.m. on Business 1110 KTEK.
Hi, you can't see me because of radio, and I can't see you because I'm totally blind. My blindness doesn't hold me back, but I fight to
I don't
stay
know.
awake during the day because I'm not sleeping through the night. Often I struggle to concentrate and just keep up. Sound familiar? You're not alone. But this is not a sleep disorder. It's actually 924. Learn about the link between total blindness and your symptoms.
So, Ginger, what do you want to talk about today?
924.com or call
We got-
855-856-2424.
Morning, Jamie.
Politics is big business. In fact, it's the biggest business of all, and it directly affects every business in this country. Tune into your afternoon drive each weekday at
Hey, Jamie,
5,
how many
where
people
we
in our
discuss
country?
News and politics that impact us right here in the Bayou City. Remember the afternoon drive with me, Chris Blaney. Weekdays at 5, right here on Business 1110
Can I
KTEK.
jump on your Wi-Fi?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't give you our password.
That's cool.
Are you behind on your
I don't-
taxes? The
I don't know what it
IRS
is.
is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck,
let me see if I
close
can get
your
that real
business,
quick.
and file criminal charges. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected. If
me
you
see if I have-
owe over $10,000 in back
20
taxes or
seconds.
have unfiled tax returns, call now for a free
20
case review
seconds.
and a price protection guaranteed quote at
Oh, yay, good for you, Ginger.
800-207-1265.
The following program does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of the staff, management, or ownership of this station.
It's time to get on the right path with Right Path Real Estate Radio with Tom Perry. Get the answer to your question that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding today.
I'll get it for you at the break.
Okay. That's cool.
Get ready. The guy that will put your fears behind
All right,
you is
Tom,
on the
hot
air
mics
now.
in 5,
Taking calls
4,
at 713-785-1817. Toll free 877-881-0271. Now here's your host, Tom Perry.
Hey, welcome to the show. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. That's our call-in number. I'm joined live in the studio with a very tan Mr. Jerry Ta.
Morning, Tom.
Good morning. He just came back from Hawaii, and he said he was complaining that he brought it, not really complaining in a negative sort of way, but he's like, hey, if I had to do this all over again, then I wouldn't necessarily do it. But he brought his 10-month-old, not a 10-year-old, but a 10-month-old to Hawaii with him. He said the baby didn't really add much to the trip.
More like he took away from it.
Yeah, he actually was a negative to the trip, so you wouldn't do that again.
No.
So everybody in the listening audience needs to go, aww. And but welcome back. Glad you got back safe. So how many days were you there?
We were there from Saturday to Saturday. So I actually got back this past Sunday in the morning.
So you were there about 7 days.
Yep.
So there, and get a chance to write it off because it was a business trip. You were there for a property management convention.
Right. I was there for the NARPM Property Management Convention over in Maui.
Wow. Is that where it is every year?
No, they actually switch it around every year.
Next year it'll be in New Jersey.
I will tell you that this is probably my least attended convention that I've gone to. I mean, I paid for it.
Right.
I went to it, but there's classes that are set up.
Right.
And let's just say I didn't go out to as many classes as I thought I would.
Oh, is that right? Let's see,
convention.
Hawaii class. I don't know.
The first time I went, it was actually in Minnesota.
Okay, you went to a lot of the classes.
Yeah, I went to a lot. There was nothing else to do.
That's
when
shocking.
I walked out that door.
Yeah. Maybe the government could do a study on why that is, that people go to fewer classes at a convention in Maui than in Minnesota.
Right.
It's the M versus M. Minnesota versus Maui. How does that affect class attendance?
I think.
What do you think? Is that a $10 million grant to study that? Maybe $100 million?
100,000 million.
100 million, yeah.
And they, of course, they got to do a bidding process,
Right.
outsource and get a professional company to come out and, bid on it and do
Yeah, you gotta have a grant proposal, right?
And it'll be like 300 pages.
Yeah, exactly.
By the time it's done.
Don't get me started. Anyhow, we are in the political season. So, and Ginger says Maui scuba diving is awesome. Hope to do some deals there at some point. Yeah, I hear that Maui real estate deals are it's what works in Houston doesn't necessarily work in Maui.
Probably not.
Yeah, and vice versa.
You know what's unusual is that not unusual, but I guess it makes sense. But there's more members of NARPM in Hawaii than any other state.
What?
Yeah. So I guess all their properties are rental properties. You got to have someone to manage it.
Yeah.
Over in Hawaii.
Right. Yeah, because there's very few people that well, if you're going to hire a property management company, then you're gonna outsource that, right?
Right.
I mean, because you're not going to try and manage. If you live there, then you wouldn't hire a management company. You would just manage it yourself.
Right.
But I can imagine there's a little bit of outside money invested in Hawaii.
Yes.
just a tad. Not I mean outside, like people that live in the States. I mean, there's a lot of actors that own places and things like that, actors and actresses, and then entertainers, all that kind of stuff. And then, but there's a lot of Asian money there as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, allegedly.
Well, I mean, I probably can tell the difference between Japan and Oahu.
Yeah.
When you're there, there's a lot of Japanese people there.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Have you been to Japan recently?
No.
Okay. Well, no wonder you can't tell the difference.
Exactly.
Okay, so, Jerry Ta is with PropertyCare, and they are our vendor sponsor in our category for property management. So tell us a little, I love your story, how you got started in property management. So tell us a little bit about that story.
Well, I think we both got our start. I don't know where you got your start, but I started in lifestyles.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay.
Yeah, I started Fast Track with just one crew, and my story just briefly is that I had a partner in a handyman business, and he did some things he shouldn't have done, and so we ended up parting ways in like August of 2010, and so then I went and met with Natalie, and I said, hey Natalie, I've inherited this crew of guys that can remodel a house, and they're pretty darn good at it. And so I'm going to I don't know anything about construction. I actually told her that. I don't know anything about construction, and so but I know how to reverse engineer a business. And so I'm going to start with one crew, and I'm an honest guy, and so I promise I won't ever take advantage of your members. And so I'll treat them with dignity and respect, and I'll take care of them and do a good job, and I'll build a business. And she goes, okay, well, I'll keep my eye on you. And if I ever have a problem with you, then you're going to be out. But, you do what you say, then you get to stay. And I'm like, okay, fine. So started with that one crew, and that was October of 2010. I started Fast Track.
Okay.
And started with one crew and went to 2 and 3, et cetera. So that was October 2010.
Right, and I think I started in 2011.
Yeah, early part of 2011, I think. I
Yeah.
think you and I must have met like February or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like most investors, we had extra money we wanted to invest in somewhere, and you can do equities and all those stuff that people do really well at, or invest.
Or they do not so well sometimes,
or not so well.
Yeah, because you had invested in equities, right?
Right.
Yeah, you'd invested in some banks like Wachovia, I think is one of them.
Wachovia and Washington Mutual.
Yeah, you're like they're beat up so much. I want to be a contrarian. Right. Nobody likes them. I want to buy them when nobody likes them. There's no way they can go to zero.
Right. You buy them when they're low.
Right. Buy low, sell high. Exactly. Everybody knows. Right.
Yeah. Well, unless they go bust and then the government doesn't help them.
Right. Yeah. I did the same thing with a telecom company.
Is that right? Yeah. Well, there was a lot of companies that went bust during that time, so I'm not surprised. But I had my bad experiences. I'm not saying that everyone does terrible, but I did. Maybe I'm just not very good at it, and maybe I'm just more better at something tangible.
That's one of the things that Jason and I talk about on the radio show from time to time. Is that when you look at what the average rate of returns are in the stock market historically, it's about 7.3%. Right. And we have this conversation when we're talking to private money lenders a lot. And what happens, though, is that's the average rate of return of the market. But the average investor doesn't get the average rate of return of the market because they're chasing alpha. They're trying to do better than the market does. And as a result of trying to do better than the market, they actually do worse. The average rate of return is about 4.8%.
Yeah,
for an investor.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that there's always discussion about, if you're a passive investor, you just kind of just track yourself to the S&P 500.
Right.
Right, which tracks the 500
largest companies.
Companies.
We've talked about that recently.
But that changes and moves. So, like, for example, just, what everyone would know, like, for instance, Enron was a ridiculously large cap company.
Right.
So that's something that you would attract if you were part of, trying to track the S&P 500. And then when it disappeared, you just kind of lost your value.
You lost all of that, but it would have been shared among all the other companies because it wasn't number one or number two. And like Walmart's been on the list for a long time.
Right.
So has Exxon. And then, Apple has been on the list for a while.
Right.
And so those are the top 3 on the list. But if you go down, all the major oil companies are there. You would recognize most of the names on there.
Yeah.
But and then even if you don't recognize some of the names of the companies, you would certainly recognize the brands that the products have and things like that.
Right. But I guess when you're following or tracking or you're invested as part of the S&P 500, then I guess you get the upside, but at the same time you'll get that big downside. There's really nothing to protect against it.
That's correct.
So unless you have a really good manager that manages.
I don't know there's such thing because by the time you add in the fees that they get for that active management, what I've seen is over the long term, nothing's really beaten the average rate of return of the S&P. And you talk about the S&P and how companies come and go in that, but there's always 500 because it's always the 500 largest.
Right.
Versus like the Russell 5000, where I think there's right now about 3,600 houses, 3,600 companies in the Russell 5000. It's not even 5,000 companies.
Right. So on your pace, how many houses you gonna? How much time is it gonna take before you get to 3,600 houses?
Oh, that'll take a while. Yeah, because we're on pace to do about 120 houses this year, somewhere between 120 and 150, and because we just did our 200th house in our 34th month.
Wow.
And we compare that to some other people. I was on stage last Wednesday at a big event, the event that Eddie does, Eddie and Johnny do. And, they're on, I think he told me that they're going to do about 75 houses this year.
Right.
And so we're doing about 120 now. He's been doing this for 17 years. So I think he's either this year or next, he's going to hit his 1,300th house that he's flipped.
Wow.
And that's in up markets and down markets and things like that. And what we like is to flip for profits, but then for long-term wealth building and asset protection is rentals.
Right.
And what I'll tell you is that we don't, even having the experience that we do in real estate, I think that some people consider us experts in the real estate market about how to find deals, how to fund deals, how to flip deals, how to get good buy and hold deals, all of that part of the place. We're ultimately a marketing and sales business is what we are. Jason and I have talked about that we could probably market and sell just about any product out there or service or whatever, but we chose real estate. But we're not 10s at the property management side of things.
Right.
It's one of the reasons why we outsource our property management to you. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, even guys, people think, well, I want to get up to a certain size and I want to take all that in house. It's like only if you're a 10 at that. And if you're a 10 at that, then do that. But you probably won't be doing some of the other things. You'll be outsourcing those instead. And so we're a proponent of. There's so many moving parts to this type of business, transaction coordinator and then the marketing and then the sales and then, and I can go on and on and on down that list. And we want a 10 at doing each of those things. I mean, we feel like that one of the reasons why Jason and I are really good at the start is we quickly outsource. Even though I'm a licensed real estate agent, I didn't list our own properties. And when we first got started, we still hired, and people say, well, you could save that 3%. Most people don't realize as you're bending over, picking up that money that you quote unquote you're saving, you're losing larger dollars out of your back pocket.
Right. And to your point, I get clients all the time that ask me, could I list their house for sale? And I really do try to avoid listing houses for sale just because I'm not any good at it.
It's a different skill set.
It is a different skill set. I lease out houses. I'm not any good at trying to sell houses.
Yeah, it's completely different. In fact, even on the rehab side, on the construction side, one of the things I learned early on since I was reverse engineering that business is that what you do for a buy and hold property from a construction standpoint, your rules or guidelines, so to speak, I created 3 guidelines. It needed to either increase your rental rates, it needed to decrease phone calls in the middle of the night, or reduce liability. If it did those 3 things, you could spend the money on the rehab for a buy and hold. If it didn't answer those 3 questions, you cannot do it. Right. And so, but on a flip, it was different. It was really more geared towards what does this property look like? I mean, you may replace perfectly good countertops to upgrade them to granite to get a higher sales price. That you would never do that in rentals because very rarely do you get more money because it has granite versus not. And it's certainly not going to reduce liability. It's not going to reduce phone calls in the middle of the night. So you have to selling a property is completely different than renting a property in terms of how you screen people, in terms of the financing. It's like you don't really care if people make payments when they're buying the house, right?
Right.
I mean, that's the mortgage company's responsibility to screen it, and the appraisal process, the inspection process. I mean, all of that you have to get the property past all of those stages. So we're getting ready to go to a break. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. You're joined with Jerry Ta. So if you have questions, follow us on the Book of Faces or call us in 713-785-1817.
Lights off.
From Conroe to Galveston,
let me go get
Latonia, and all points in between, Texas General Insurance Agency is trusted by individuals and businesses across the great state of Texas. Whether you're searching for the best auto insurance in Fort Bend, a flood policy for a Galveston Beach property, or coverage for your rental and investment homes in Houston, Texas General Insurance Agency understands your unique needs. Throughout the Lone Star State, their experienced and trusted independent agents offer guidance to clients on the risk-based needs associated with auto and home, investment properties, commercial, and farm and ranch coverage. Their commitment to quality and service allows them to compare multiple markets, coverage, and price to give you the best possible value. Texas General Insurance Agency appreciates the opportunity to learn how they can work for you. Call one of their experienced agents today at 713-622-5977. That's 713-622-5977. Or go to texasgeneralinsurance.com.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties, whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab. We manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 5 years, Fast Track has completed over 500 projects, which has helped us create our 3 keys to success.
This is yours.
Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done, train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself, no more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992, or on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Are you expecting to close accurately, on time, and with lots of communication on your home purchase? You've come to the right place.
I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer with Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Our goal is to give our borrowers and referral partners an amazing experience during the loan process. My team believes in putting people and culture before results. Our company concentrates on building those teams who operate with structure, process, and recognition for going the extra mile for you. This way, we have the energy to make this your best home purchase ever. Give us a call today to find out the simple steps to get started. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, the Hernandez team at Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Jennifer.legacymutual.com or call 713-579-3611. Again, Jennifer.legacymutual.com. We can't wait to consult with you soon. NMLS 514497.
Equal Housing Opportunity Lender. NMLS 514497.
Coin collectors. In 1986, President Ronald Reagan signed into law the American Gold Eagle.
You still watching the Hell's
coin
Kitchen?
as a mint store of wealth. Today, the Westminster Mint has the 2016 $50 American Gold Eagle coin minted in 1 ounce of pure solid
I don't know that I've ever
gold
watched
for
Hell's Kitchen. What's it about?
$1,350. This beautiful $50 gold coin is the special 30th anniversary of the series and is certified in perfect mint state 70 condition by PCGS. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with 70 being absolute perfection. These limited edition $50 American Gold Eagles are minted from 1 ounce of pure solid gold and are guaranteed for weight and purity by the U.S. government. If you want the American Eagle $50 gold coin at the absolute lowest price, call the Westminster Mint today at 800-301-3868. 800-301-3868.
Yeah, gold coins. That's the way to go. Put your money in gold coins.
Insured delivery and a 30-day money-back guarantee.
I will tell you that it's not a bad investment as long as you're buying it around like $200-$300.
Yeah,
Hot mics in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. I'm joined live in the studio with Jerry Ta. His phone number is 713-489-7653. Maybe not necessarily his phone number, but the phone number to reach out to PropertyCare.
Right.
You want to get the process started on having the property management side of your real estate business outsourced.
Right.
And then he also has an email. It's info@propertycarehouston.com. That's info@propertycarehouston.com. So if you've got any questions about how to get started with a property manager, what the costs are, or I should say the investment, that's probably a better term, because there's a cost for having a property management company and there's a cost for not having a property management company. I remember there was a time when I was involved in the nutrition business and people would say, well, how much do these vitamins cost? I go, you mean if you take them or if you don't?
Right.
Because, there's a cost either way to your health, right? If you're not taking, because if you're not eating right and you're not eating healthy, then you're not getting the vitamins and minerals that your body needs. So there's a cost, long term to your health, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, those kind of things. And then the long term, having a shortened life, what's that worth, right?
Right.
But then there's a cost for taking them as well. So I was like, which one are you asking? So there's a cost for having a property management company, but there's also a cost for not having one. And so a lot of times people, I've never heard a horror story about what happened with a property management company. I've had lots of horror stories about what's happened when you've done self-management. It's like, oh, this tenant, I didn't screen him properly, and all these things happen, or I had a tough time evicting him. We've evicted quite a few tenants, but never a tenant that we've put in the property. We've only ever evicted tenants that we've inherited from properties that we've bought. So oftentimes what we find is when there's an investor selling a property, so far, now I'm sure it's not 100%, but our experience has been that 100% of the time that investor is selling a property that has a tenant in it, it's either a problem property or it's a problem tenant. You can bank on both of those situations. One of those two situations there's never been a situation that I've seen so far that somebody's like, you know what? I've got 7 rentals, and I've got this one that I never hear from the tenant. They pay their rent on time all the time, and I never have a problem with the property. Nothing's ever broken. Nothing's ever leaking. Nothing's ever needs to be serviced or anything like that. I want to pick that property and sell it.
Right.
So that's never the case. It's always there's something either wrong with the property or wrong with. So when we buy properties, we recognize that, that And shockingly, the investor's not always forthcoming with the reason why he's selling. Oh, just trying to, just decided I wanted to sell one. It's about the time, That's what they'll tell you typically. But then the more you start digging, and so we've evicted quite a few tenants, and we have 100%. We say we're batting 1,000 on evicting tenants. But the only time we've ever done that is when we've inherited it.
Right.
But you've probably taken over a lot of properties. They're probably problem properties when you start, right? Because
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time, it's never a good situation. I think we have the same experience where if an investor is selling a rental property with a tenant inside, it's not going to be a good thing.
It's not going to be a good tenant. You're not going to plan on re-upping those tenants and signing them to a new lease because they probably haven't paid in the last 90 days anyway, or haven't paid consistently, or they're tired of filing evictions, 3 out of the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And, they file the eviction, they get down to the court, and then they pay all the late fees, they pay all the penalties and all that kind of stuff. They pay the rent up, but it's like, oh, what a hassle. Yeah.
Yeah, but you'll never get that story from the investor that's selling it right off the bat.
Of course not.
It's always related to something else, like, oh, I just want to cash out.
Yeah.
Or, it's never because the tenant hasn't paid rent.
I'm just turning
months.
my properties. Yeah. Yeah.
So I always find that very funny until the day comes. It's like, oh, so they haven't paid rent this month yet, or the last month. Oh, okay, yeah. It's like, well, they
were really on time every month until 60 days ago. It's funny you called me about it 75 days ago. What a coincidence,
right? Yeah. So I mean, between that and just issues with the house, usually if an owner is having problems with the tenant, they probably haven't taken care of the house in a very long time either.
Yeah, typically what happens is the tenant starts becoming a problem because they're not happy with, like, maybe there's a leak underneath the kitchen sink, for example, and so, or the toilet gets clogged up, or it's leaking, or it's running all the time, or the air conditioner's not cooling properly. So they call the property owner and they say, hey, I want, I'm having this problem. I don't want to, have to put up with this anymore, and so I want you to come out and have this fixed. And then the owner's not responsive to that. They don't want to spend the money, or whatever the reason is. They're busy, whatever. Maybe they're in Maui. Who knows?
Right.
So then they don't want to fix it. Well, then the tenant doesn't want to pay the rent because they feel like that's, hey, I've got some control over you but the lease doesn't allow that kind of control, right?
Right.
Right. So, and then then that relationship starts breaking down, and trust is broken, and it just goes down. Hey, I've got an idea. Why don't I sell this property? Because this property is a real problem.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, of course, again, not because of the tenant or everything's going great. I just, we're cash flowing, we're making all this kind of money, but, we just decide to sell in a distressed manner.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I've had it for 5 years. It's just time. It just, felt like it was time. I'm going to use the money for something else.
Right.
Yeah. So how many times do you run into that situation?
Every single time, I think I've only had one instance out of, like, more than a dozen where we've had a tenant last the next 12 months.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think every time either they've moved out or we had to evict them. And what's funny is, like, every time that we try to evict a tenant, they're like, well, we put all this work into the house, and of course they got nothing to show for it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's like, just yesterday I think we were talking, like, they spent $3,000 fixing up the house. I'm like, what did you guys do? Because it definitely
you got ripped off. You need a better contractor.
Right.
No, we did it ourselves to save money. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, I can tell. That's why I can't tell where you did the rehab.
So that's definitely one area that, I think you just probably need a property manager, kind of or just, consult with somebody to make sure that before you purchase a property and kind of consider all the different issues, if you're going to buy a house with a tenant already inside the house.
So what's the process? If I've got a property, let's say I'm a new investor and I decide, you know what, I'm busy, I'm successful in life outside of real estate, I'm busy in oil and gas or running my own business or whatever, and I've got this money in my IRA or my 401k, I want to start investing it in real estate. So I buy a property. At what stage do I want to get the property manager involved?
I want to say that you want to get us involved even before you purchase property, or when you're considering a property or seriously considering a property. If you're working with a realtor, I feel like most businesses in real estate is transactional based. So
right.
Basically, they get their money, and then you may never hear from them again.
Yeah, so you bring up a good point that our audience may not be aware of, and Jason and I, we talk about this a lot. It's what's the life value of a customer, and some businesses are transactional based, where it's like one sale, you're one and done.
Right.
But then others are more relationship oriented. Like take the mortgage business for example. It's typically you're only going to get a mortgage, maybe 2 or 3 times in your lifetime, because you're only going to have 2 or 3, maybe 4 houses. That's a lot for most people. Most people spend, an average of about 7 to 10 years in a house. So if you got a mortgage every 7 to 10 years, when you buy a new house, you're only going to need 4 transactions. I mean, the chances of you dealing with the same crew, if you will, of people at the mortgage company, whereas we actually have a relationship with Legacy Mutual Mortgage. They're one of our vendor sponsors. It's a relationship thing because we're a referral partner to them. But what you're talking about is, you're right. Most real estate agents, it's a lot like the mortgage business. It's a transaction. There's not really any investment in the customer service side of things, because I've got to get in, I got to do this one deal, I've got to move on to the next deal, and I'm not going to sell you another house 6 months from now or a year from now or even next week. It's not like the relationship you have with your cell phone, for example.
Right. So one of the things I've seen a lot where investors have made a mistake is that they've purchased a house in a neighborhood that the rental comps look great. I mean, good rental comps. However, there are about 20 active rentals on the market for that specific subdivision. And if you're only moving 3 a month or whatever, it may take 7
months of inventory.
Yeah,
so they're not really looking at the inventory.
Right. So you can't just look at sold rental comps. You have to look at active on the market. And I've swayed investors to no, you should not buy that house.
You've got too much competition, because when you have, simple supply and demand, right? If you have increased supply, that causes prices to drop, or decreased demand, that causes. So obviously the supply and demand is out of balance. If you have 3 that are leasing a month, and now you've got 20 properties in a marketplace. Yeah, that's a good point.
So I mean, that's something that where a realtor may not even look at, or may not even consider, or trying to not let you consider. But we'll take a look at it, because days on market affect us.
Yeah, of course.
We don't make any money until the property is leased out.
Yeah.
So, we try to get investors away.
Yeah, I like that. The way that y'all's business model is, that y'all's goals for revenue for your own company are very much in line with the investor's goal in terms of bringing in revenue quickly, because you don't get paid unless the investor's getting paid.
Exactly.
I like that a lot. Yeah, so you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. I'm joined live with Jerry Ta. We're live in the studio. Feel free to give us a call. Put your fear of calling behind you. 713-785-1817. Jerry Ta's contact information is 713-489-7653. His email address is info@propertycarehouston.com. We'll join you after the break. 713-785-1817.
Mic's off.
All right, thanks.
Join a group of hardworking investors willing to share their knowledge and experience with others. We're not just another guru-driven club. We're a community of Houston's most successful real estate investors. Discover more at richradio.org. The Realty Investment Club of Houston, the Rich Club, has taught more real estate investors than any other program in the state. Join the Rich Club and become part of the most informed community in Houston. Quickly discover your investment options. Receive the information you need to get started. Learn what it takes to avoid the pitfalls of real estate investment. You have questions? We have answers. If you're considering investments in Houston's real estate, then richradio.org is the quickest way to join the community and learn how to make money in today's market. Learn more about the education and community at richradio.org. Join our community to learn what it takes to make money in Houston. Visit richradio.org. That's richradio.org.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties, whether it's a flip, rehab, or a rental rehab. No more managing it yourself. No more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992.
Do you want to learn how to buy 200 houses in less than 3 years?
Just know that it's either a problem property or a problem tenant. I guarantee you that.
We've got a weekend retreat coming up October 20th, 29th, and 30th here in Houston, Texas at Memorial City Center. We're teaching our students how to find, fund, and market for real estate deals. So if you want to learn how to do 200 houses like we have, come to that event. Go to rightpathrealestate.com or give us a call, 281-888-9555 to sign up for our weekend retreat.
Did you know that there are over $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S.? Imagine if you could use someone's IRA to fund all of your deals. Well, you can. Quest IRA is based locally here in Houston, Texas. At Quest IRA, we offer retirement accounts that can be used to invest in real estate, promissory notes, private entities, and much more. Many of our clients loan money from their IRAs to fund real estate deals all over the country. We don't sell any investments or give advice. However, we do hold free networking events, weekly educational classes, and free consultations with an IRA specialist. For more information, visit our website at questira.com or call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs. To tap into the $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S., call Quest IRA at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or go to our website, questira.com.
You know, what's interesting is they have a tough time keeping
This is Michael Nedved for the Salem Radio Network. Faced with a choice between two presidential candidates with high disapproval ratings, conservatives must resist the temptation to sit home and sulk in this election. Low GOP turnout could bring disastrous consequences for worthy Republican candidates struggling
Ginger's
to maintain
we'll answer
majorities
this on
in the
air
Senate
when
and
we
the
go back to
House.
the radio.
The loss of just 4
Ginger's
Republican
saying I'm
Senate
making an
seats
offer
out
on
of
an occupied
24
rental
up for
this
grabs
week. I may
could
keep it if I
hand
get it less
control
than
to the
20K. What do I
Democrats.
need to know?
In the House, the Republicans would lose their majority. if
And Ginger,
Democrats
what
split
market are
just
you in?
12% of
I
the
know you're not local. You're not in
247
Houston, but you're in
GOP
another
is
market.
defending. Regardless
So I don't
of
know
the
if 20K
presidential
is
outcome,
how that
maintaining
relates to.
conservative power in Congress
That's
will be
not a very
crucial
nice
for the
area if
nation's
that's in
future,
Houston.
especially if Hillary is elected president.
And I don't know if
Attempts
that's
to enact
all in at
radical
20K.
aspects of her agenda,
But I know in
like
places like
tax
I've heard in
increases
Indianapolis,
and
for example, that
federally
you can
funded
buy
abortion.
a pretty decent
Don't
20K
skip
rental
election
property that you can rent for like $700 a month. It's not a Section 8. I mean, it's actually
All right,
a
Tom.
decent.
Right.
Yeah.
This is
Hot
Business
mics in
1110.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio. Right Path Real Estate Radio. We have a weekend retreat coming up. It's this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's kind of like you're waiting to the last minute to sign up if you haven't done it already, because we're putting out the manuals for the event. And so if you're planning on going and you just haven't signed up yet, you better do it now. So it's Jamie at Right Path Real Estate, or just go to rightpathrealestate.com or rightpathrealestateradio.com. Either one of those. There's an Eventbrite link on there. It's going to be a great event. It's going to be our first 3-day event, and we had so much information that we couldn't get into to the 2-day event that we had to add a 3rd day. So anyhow, Ginger is following us on Facebook. She's one of our regular listeners/watchers. In fact, I was talking yesterday, somebody called in, or actually emailed in to Jamie at rightpathrealestate.com, and he's actually in Oregon, and he's like, hey, I understand that y'all have a business plan that y'all follow. I'm like, yeah, it's one of the things that we teach at our weekend retreat. He's like, hey, how do I get a copy of that? I'm like, well, come to the retreat. He goes, but I'm in Oregon. I'm like, yeah, we have some people flying in from Canada this weekend. I mean, seriously, they're flying in from all over the country. And I go, hey, do you listen to our radio show? And he goes, no, I'm in Oregon. I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, I'm not expecting you to catch our AM radio wave, because we are on AM 1110, which, is not a super strong station. I mean, it's a good station, don't get me wrong. But what the beauty of it is that it's simulcast on iHeartRadio. It even, I understand, goes all the way to Hawaii.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Well, because they have the internet there, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anywhere that the internet goes, so if you're in North Korea, you probably can't get it. but if you're in Hawaii, any place that the internet is, so which means we're probably in Russia also,
right?
Because I hear they have the internet there. So anyhow, so we're on iHeartRadio, we're on TuneIn Radio, we're on the Book of Faces. So anywhere Facebook goes. So Ginger's asking this question. She's in Amarillo, and she's saying that she's going to be making an offer on an occupied rental this week. And I said, congratulations. We've been talking about the fact that most of the time investors sell problem properties. Mm-hmm. There is another time that people sell, though, if if you've had somebody that's been a landlord for a long time and then they pass away and the heirs inherit the property, it's not necessarily a tenant problem. That they may just wanting to convert that to cash because they hey, show me the money, right? They don't want the monthly, $1,000 a month. They just want maybe the $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 that they get all lump sum, right?
Right.
So that's a good time to buy.
I mean, to answer Ginger's questions, I have a list of items that I consider important. One is, you got to have the lease. So that's very important. Make sure that it's current, or like the most recent lease, not a lease from tenants,
from the 1980s.
Yeah, 1980s.
Right.
So that's great that you got a lease, but make sure that it's the most current one available. If there's a tenant ledger, see like
a ledger. What's that?
I mean, most owners aren't going to have a tenant ledger unless they're really sophisticated. But most
or organized.
Organized. But basically, you want to see what their rental history or their payment history is like. So if are they paying on the first of every month, or are they paying on the 29th of every month, or whatever today is?
You mean like early?
Yeah, early.
You mean like
early or late. The other thing is you want identification for all the people living in the house. Very important, because because you have a lease, you want to make sure that the people living in the house actually matches the lease. You don't want John Doe living in on the lease, but then we got 5 other people that's living in the house that does not listen on the list, and John Doe is not even in the house, occupying the house.
Right. Yeah, how often do you see that where the person, I've seen it quite a bit where there's one person on the lease, but then there's 3 other occupants in the house. And we're not talking about just kids. We're talking about other adult people in the house. And what the problem is that you run a background check on the person that's on the lease, but you haven't necessarily, and it's like, do you want somebody that's on the sexual predator list or the sexual offender list to be living in your house? And because that could create all kinds of liability, because ultimately you're responsible for what's going on inside your property.
And not only sexual predators, but just someone that has a violent criminal history or something. Like, you don't want it. That's not a kind of person that you want to deal with.
Right.
You just want to be able to get them out.
Anger management issues, things like that. Yeah.
So
just
for your own safety.
Sheetrock is not a good way to take out anger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess if you walk through a house with a bunch of holes in the wall,
I've seen that a few times.
You may want to consider, or get them out before you actually close on the property.
Right.
And again, I always mention this, is that security deposit is a big thing. Generally, security deposits is the tenant's money, and you're supposed to get that at closing. And if you're using a TREC contract, it actually states that you're supposed to get that at closing.
Right.
And any prorated rent too. So if you're closing today or in the middle of the month, make sure that from the day you close to the end of the month, you're actually collecting rent that may be paid or may not be paid.
Yeah, oftentimes the sellers of the investment property, they're not really aware of that they're supposed to, let's say I'm going to buy a property for $30,000. And then they go, hey, I don't have a lease on this property. Then you ask them, hey, how much is the deposit? Oh, well, the deposit is just 1 month's rent. Okay, monthly rent is, let's say, $700 a month. Okay, so the landlord, the investor that's selling the property, they don't realize that they're supposed to hand over, in addition to the purchase price, that's not just rolled in, like now they get to keep that money, and the purchase price is the purchase price. And very few people, it's not like, investors keep that deposit money in an escrow account someplace. It's commingled with just their operating account typically, right?
Right.
And so...
or it's spent.
Yeah, or it's spent, gone. Right. Yeah, exactly. It's gone. It's not in a separate account someplace. They haven't kept it in an envelope. This is, quote-unquote, my deposit envelope, right? They're not using the Dave Ramsey envelope system for deposit money, right?
No.
And so... But that's separate from the purchase price of the property. So at closing, you're supposed to collect that. Now, here's the other thing that you need to do. You need to verify, like anytime and we've learned this lesson the hard way. We ask the landlord, the investor selling the property, hey, how much is the deposit? Then we do want to also talk to the tenant at some point in time before the closing. Hey, by the way, how much is your deposit? Because, shockingly, those two numbers don't always match. Yeah, because if the investor selling the property is saying, well, it was $700, but the tenant says, oh, no, it was $1,400 because he charged me 2 months, rent because my credit was bad or something like that. And the investor selling the property may not be forthcoming. It's not always that they're trying to lie to you. It's sometimes it's like, oh yeah, normally it's 1 month, but they didn't keep good records, or their memory's not, that was 5 years ago. How do you expect it to remember something 5 years ago? Right. So
not only security deposits, but if you have pet deposits,
right?
So if you have a $600 pet deposit, you need to be able to get that at closing at the same time.
Yeah, one thing that we don't really like, we don't like pet deposits. What we like is a pet fee. And how do you do that as a property manager? If somebody has a pet, do you charge a fee per pet, or is there an extra deposit, or how do you do it?
We never actually do pet deposits.
Okay.
We only do pet fees.
Okay, perfect. How much is a pet fee?
We always put a minimum of $250 per pet on our listing, but I'll tell you now, the most I've ever gotten was $3,000.
$3,000 for pet fees.
Yes.
So there's got to be a story behind that. What's the story?
The story is
they were moving Noah's Ark inside of this rental property.
I mean these were really good tenants, really qualified tenants, and they just had, I think, 3 large dogs, like Labradors, well trained, whatever. And I had just put some new floors, new carpet into this house, and I didn't want to lease to them.
Right.
I mean, they're super qualified, so I just threw out a number.
Yeah.
$1,000 per pet.
Yeah.
And they took it.
Oh, wow. So this was basically your way of saying, I want to discourage you, so you can throw out a numbers like, hey, I really don't want you leasing this place, but if you're going to, you're going to pay through the nose for it and make it worth my while.
Yep.
Yeah, and so that's the great thing about being a landlord, is that you get to almost set the terms of leasing. As long as you're not discriminating, or as long as you're consistent, I mean, obviously you have to follow fair housing rules and things like that. But I mean, if you're talking about, hey, I just put this, new floors in. What kind? Were they laminate floors, or were they?
No,
hopefully not.
They were actually wood.
Okay. Real wood.
Yeah, I mean, this was over 2,000. I think it was a $2,200 rental.
Yeah, right.
So it was real wood. It was Anderson Casablanca.
Yeah,
real nice wood, and there was brand new carpet in there. And I just, dogs scratch up wood and stuff.
Yeah, they do. Rumor has it, yeah.
So I just did not want these dogs in there. But like I said, when I threw out 3,000,
these were Great Danes, you said?
No, they were Labradors.
Oh, Labradors.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and I saw them, and I still didn't want them. I mean, they were really subdued, not not running around crazy or anything, but it's worked out well. I mean, they've been tenants in there. I guess if you spend $3,000, you're not going to move after a year either.
Probably not, right.
And you're not going to find another rental house that's going to let you in with $3 for the most part.
Correct. Yeah. So if it gets really cold in Houston, they can have a 3-dog night.
Yeah. There you go.
But sorry. All right. I'm joined live with Jerry Ta. He's with PropertyCare, and his email address is info@propertycarehouston.com. His phone number is 713-489-7653. Now, Ginger, she's buying a property. She's saying that that she's going to be buying this rental property that's $20K. That's her all-in number. Rehab, everything, $20K. And then she said it's right across from a school, and that there's no lease, so she'll assume there's no ledger. And what percentage of the time do you find there's no lease when an investor is buying a property from another investor?
I would say that's very rare.
Oh, yeah?
I would say that, I think people are smart enough to not let,
We find it's about 50% of the time.
50% of the time?
Yeah.
I always find that there's a lease, a very not a great lease.
Yeah.
Just one page, even one page that states...
Careful what you say, Nicky will cut you off.
Even just a one-page lease that states their name and what they're renting, I mean, without any of the other terms, I mean, we'll see a lot of those. But as far as having no lease, like, what's, I mean, that's unusual to me.
Okay, we got to go to break. We'll continue this conversation on the other side. 713-785-1817. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio.
Mike's off.
Thank you. Nikki, crap's not one of the 7 words, is it?
Investor loans offering up to 100% financing are still available. You just have to know where to look. Look no further.
There's 7 words that we can't
Mortgage.
say. I don't remember what they
Noble
are. Nikki, can you tell me real quick?
Mortgage company.
I don't even know.
It's been helping investors since 2003. Noble Mortgage offers up to 100%
I was just going to get you to tell me on air.
Investors that covers purchase.
You can't say this.
In addition to private money, Noble Mortgage offers conventional loans, FHA, and even no income documentation loans for both residential and commercial properties. Call and ask about our 5-point guarantee, which includes free pre-qualifications within 2 business days. Call 713-680-8100 or visit noblemoney.com. That's noblemoney.com. Our team has over 50 years experience in the mortgage industry. Call us today, 713-680-8100, or visit us on the web, noblemoney.com, noblemoney.com.
NMLS 292143, 8203 Willow Place Drive, Houston, Texas, 77070.
Real estate investors, if you're not familiar with Quest IRA, let me tell you what you're missing. We've got free weekly educational classes, networking opportunities, and
that
the
was
ability
good.
to tap into trillions of dollars for
Is
your
that like
real
a
estate
pre-made
investing deals. Come by our
oatmeal?
office or
Where
join
do you
us
get that from?
remotely as we simulcast all of our
So-
educational classes every Tuesday morning and evening. For more information,
There's a lady in town that
call
I've known
us at
for
1-855
since about 2000 or 2001, so
or
15,
visit our
16 years, something like
website
that.
at questira.com.
She used to own
The
like a
Realty Investment
retail
Club of Houston has taught more real estate investors
kitchen
than any other
and
program in
like
the state.
storefront
Come check
over
us
on
out
Fountain
at
View.
richradio.org.
It's called Smart Meals.
If you're considering learning how to invest
And
in
so
real estate, then richradio.org is
there's
the
a
quickest way
nutritionist
to
in
learn
town
how to
named
make
Keith
money
Klein.
in the Houston market.
Helps people
We're
with
not just another guru-driven
body
club.
fitness and
We're
that
a
kind of stuff,
community of
eating healthy,
Houston's
all-
most successful
all that.
real estate
Well,
investors. Join our
she
community
was
to learn
his,
what
like,
it takes to make money in Houston.
pre-cooked
Visit
meals,
richradio.org.
like recommended
That's
choice.
RICH,
She delivers meals to us every Friday, so we stock them in the freezer. So we provide that for all the employees as kind of like a benefit to say, because there's really not a good place to eat right around here. That's so
Bel Air is very close over here.
Yeah.
And what exactly are we stressing about?
You don't like that?
But you know, by the time you leave here and you get over to Bel Air, because the traffic to get to there, it's 10 or 15 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
It's 10 or 15 minutes to get back. It's hard to eat even there during lunch crowds and things like that to be in and out in 30 minutes. So, I mean, you're going to lose an hour and a half just going to lunch. And that's, I mean, to do that on a day in and day out basis. So we decided, let's provide healthy meals. And so people can just microwave them. And what we find is more people stay during their lunch hour and they eat at their desk or something like that because it's free.
Right.
And, you know, so it's just a benefit. But yeah, it's oatmeal and blueberries. And it's, but it's,
securities offered through Lucia
you
Securities
know,
LLC,
243 calories, 3 grams of fat, 39 carbs, 15 protein. So,
Are you a realtor or seller that
Yeah,
is concerned about the new TRID rules and closing on time? I'm Jennifer
and
Hernandez,
she delivers
Senior
every
Loan
Friday.
Officer at Legacy Mutual Mortgage, and we have mastered the 30-day close. We close on time, accurately, and with tons
like
of
yesterday I had,
communication. You'll have a
I mean, she's
dedicated
got
team of a coordinator and a
a
contract
very
close
robust
associate.
menu.
Give me a call today
She's
at
got breakfast items, snack items, lunch items, dinner items, that kind of
and let's
stuff.
talk about how we can help you
It's
on
pretty-
your next transaction.
Pretty affordable, huh?
It is.
Opportunity lender. NMLS
I find it's about $7 a meal.
Do you want to
Yeah.
learn how to
Which is
buy
way cheaper than eating
200
out.
houses in less than 3 years?
You know,
folks,
I found
we've
out
done
that,
it. This is Jason Bible
when I
of
try to,
Right
like,
Path Real Estate. We've got a
what's
weekend
those
retreat
stores?
coming up.
My Smart
October
Fit?
Yeah,
20th,
my
29th,
Fit Foods.
30th,
My Fit Foods.
here
There you
in
go. I
Houston,
usually eat
Texas at
those.
Memorial
I
Yeah.
found out
Center.
that I just feel
We're
like the
teaching our
portions are
students
less.
how to find,
Yeah, they are.
fund,
And
market
this is
for real
like
estate
that,
deals.
but a
So if you
little
wanna learn
bit.
how to do 200 houses like we
First off,
have,
I think it's
come to
better
that event.
tasting
Go to
than My Fit Foods. It's also it's really more of a profile for dropping body fat.
Right.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
mean,
guys.
competitors
Five,
would eat this and not
four,
My Fit Foods.
3, 2, 1, here we go.
Welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. So Ginger's asking one of the questions, saying, when I'm gathering info for my offer in a rental, do I look at it differently than I would a rehab, other than getting it rent info in addition to the normal stuff? No, the repair costs will be less, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, all we're really doing, if we're going in on a rental, and typically, you know, I want to go in and see the house. I must get in to see the house. If I don't, my offer number is going to drop very significantly. I will buy a property if I can't get inside, but I build the risk in on my side by a lower offer. And then what I typically do is, you know, normally the investor is a little bit nervous. They don't want to have the tenant know that they're considering selling the property, things like that. So I normally tell them, hey, look, just tell your tenant that you're going in that you're changing insurance companies, and that you're going as an inspector. Oftentimes when you change insurance companies, the inspector wants to see what kind of plumbing do you have, what's the roof look like, all those kind of things. And you tell the tenant, hey, I'm not really looking at your stuff. I'm just looking at the structure of the building. I'm not looking at how you clean house or anything like that. I'm looking at the major systems, the HVAC system, the air conditioning system. I mean, excuse me, that's redundant. The plumbing system, the roof, the foundation, all of those things, the kind of things that would be causing a fire or a flood or those kind of things that would be a worry to the insurance company. And so that gives you access to the property, kind of see, you know, where the cracks are in the foundation. So that's really the big ticket items that you're looking for. Other than that, it's carpet and paint's not that big of a deal.
I mean, it's not big of a deal, but, you know, in Ginger's case, we're talking about a $20,000 property.
That's correct.
At the same time. So, the mistake that I've seen a lot is where, you know, an investor would think that, you know, since they don't really look at all those different items that you're talking about,
right.
Because one, if someone's living in there, ideally is already working.
Yeah.
Right. So, and from our experience is that you really got to consider like if the whole house needs new carpet, because from our experience they're going to be gone within a few months.
I don't consider that it's working already, because I consider that the moment that I close on that property, I'm going to have the very first thing, day one, I'm going to have to evict that tenant because they're not paying their rent.
Right.
That the first time that the first of the month comes around, they're not going to pay on time. I'm going to end up having to evict them. I'm going to get rid of them. Now I'm going to have, when all of their stuff has gone out of the house, the property's going to look worse.
Yep.
And so it's going to need to be painted. It's going to have new flooring. It's going to need new ceiling fans. It's going to need new, probably plumbing fixtures in the kitchen and the bathroom. It's going to need rough valves and trim valves, all those kind of things. It's going to need to be brought up to code. In fact, we even bring, there's landlord codes that, you got to have thumb turn locks, for example. You got to have peepholes on all the exterior doors. I mean, you've got to, we bring the rental property up to code in those situations.
Right.
Yeah, and so we build all of that, expense in on the front side. I don't know that I've ever seen a rental property that I didn't budget at least $10 a square foot on the property for a rehab.
Yeah, and you might want to, explain that a little bit more. I don't, that's how we estimate.
Right.
The rehab on properties real quick is based on a price per square foot on the house. So, I mean, if you consider flooring, paint, and fixtures,
right?
I mean, that gets you to
$10 pretty quick.
Pretty quick.
Time you do the demo on the front side and the trash haul off and the cleanup afterwards, because you want to get the windows cleaned inside and out and everything. Yeah, you're right at about $10 a foot, just as a basic light, what I'd call almost like a make-hab, really. It's not even a full rehab where you're doing foundation, plumbing, roof, HVAC, any of those kind of things, but you're just doing a light make-hab. It's about $10 a foot. So on a 1,200 square foot house, that's about $12,000. You mentioned earlier a 2,200 square foot house or 2,000 square foot house. I think you were renting for $2,200 a month with a $3,000 pet fee. That on a 2,200 square foot house, that exact same thing. That's a $22,000 rehab. There's a $10,000 spread there because one house is $1,000 more larger than the other house.
Right.
Yeah, so on this, I would guess on a $20,000 house, since it's in Amarillo and I know that market somewhat, I imagine that the rents in that area are going for about $750. It's probably a small 3-bedroom, 1-bath, and so I'm gonna guess it's probably about 1,000 square feet, something like that. But you might have $10,000 in rehab on that. Might be able to get away with $8,000 or $9,000, but I'd rather budget $10,000 and spend $8,000 than budget $8,000 and spend $10,000. As an investor, I always want to over budget and under. Different than our federal government.
Well, people like to under budget so they can make themselves feel better.
Yeah, exactly.
And get the deal.
Yeah, but then you end up taking extra money out of your pocket and like, oh man, I missed my number on that. No, don't. If you're gonna miss it on the high side.
Right.
Make it your goal to miss it on the high side. So thanks for joining us today. Hopefully we'll see you at the weekend retreat this weekend. Jason and I will be live in studio tomorrow, so listen to us then. Right Path Real Estate Radio.
Business 1110 KTEK.
Mike's off.
Thanks, Nikki.
You're welcome. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, see you tomorrow. Bye.
All right, bye.